I'm not a lawyer, but this is part 3 of the state of Georgia versus Quaneesha Johnson. Before I get into it, let me say that I didn't watch this trial from the beginning. I was able to catch some of the clips and recaps on Court TV, on YouTube. So if you want to look into it, you can go check them out. So we left off with police have now basically walked off and allowing Diamante and Quaneesha to go back in the house together. Now, it's important to say police don't leave the scene. They just allow the two of them to go into the house. According to Quaneesha's testimony, her dogs had gotten free while the door was open, so she gets her oldest daughter to help her get the dogs. And before she goes back in the house, she does this.
Prior to going inside my home, I do go to my car to retrieve my firearm and a tie rod.
Now, according to Quaneesha, she goes inside the house. She instructs her oldest daughter to call the police again in hopes that police will come and stay because it's a child. And then with one weapon in her hand and one weapon in her pocket, she heads upstairs. And according to her testimony, the victim then lunges at her. She hits him with the tire iron and then she discharges her firearm. Now, it's been less than 2 minutes since the two of them have gone inside the house, so police are still outside. They actually heard the discharging of the firearm. So when Diamante comes out, he tells police that Quaneesha hit him with the metal thing and then discharged her firearm. He is rushed to the hospital, but he doesn't make it. Quaneesha is then arrested and charged. Now, I want to share a few of the things that the prosecution argued during the trial.
Now, members of the jury, we're not going to shy away from the threat he made. But what I want y'all to pay attention to is the defendant's own statement. And in that statement, she says, "Oh, I was just joking it off. I was laughing it off. I didn't take it serious."
Miss Quaneesha Johnson tried to right a wrong on her own terms. She pulled a gun and she pulled a trigger when there was no necessity. That is why we're here. That is what this boils down to. A person is justified in using force that is intended or likely to cause great bodily injury if, only if that person reasonably believes that the force is necessary to prevent great bodily injury to himself or a third person.
After 4 hours of deliberation last week, the verdict for Quaneesha came in.
As to count 1, malice, murder, we, the jury, find Quaneesha Johnson not guilty. As to count 2, felony murder, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quaneesha Johnson, guilty of voluntary manslaughter. As to count 3, aggravated assault, family violence, we, the jury, find the defendant, Quaneesha Johnson, guilty. As to
The fire alarm sounded, but eventually the jurors read that Quaneesha was found not guilty of malice murder, but guilty of voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, and a few cruelty to children charges. And because you might be wondering, here's some context for the charges.
Malice, you will hear, is just an unlawful intent to. It's without justification, it's without excuse, and it's without mitigation. The second is felony murder. Now, in Georgia, it's not like you see on TV, our murder statutes, our murder charges are not separated into first degree, second degree, third degree, like they are in a lot of places. We have malice murder, we have felony murder, we also have voluntary manslaughter.
Now tomorrow, Monday, August 28th, Quaneesha will be sentenced. So I'll be tuning in and providing you an update on this insane case.